Hi everybody, I'm back and I'm back to do a quick reading on Escaping the Matrix. But first I've got a little bit of housekeeping to do. So one of the last readings that I did was a reading on timelines, and I got a comment because we had talked about how we are kind of the only thing holding up the ultimate timeline, the best timeline for us, and how we can open our hearts and open our consciousness by doing meditations. Excuse me. And excuse me. So I get a comment, and the person said, how is it that we do that? And I'm sorry that I didn't go into a little bit of detail on that. So meditation to open our consciousness is the art of stilling the mind. And it's not easy necessarily to do because we've been trained to be very busy and to always be thinking about what it is that we have to do next. So learning to still the mind can be a process. So if you start doing this and you find it is difficult for you, that's okay. Don't worry about it. Just say reset. So one of the easiest ways to begin a meditation process is to focus on something like a candle. Light a candle and focus on the flame. Or if you have a pretty crystal, or if you have a particular plant that you really love the looks of, focus on that. Just still the mind. Just don't allow thoughts and words. And that's where it gets difficult because our minds are very busy. We've been kind of taught to have these excessively busy minds. So as you're focusing, if a word or a thought or something in your head plays out, it's okay. It's okay. Just say, okay, reset, go back to the flame. And just start practicing that. It's not, you're probably not going to be a skilled person at stilling the mind for 20 to 30 minutes at a time when you first start. So start in baby steps. Start for 1 minute intervals. Set a timer if you need to. It's best to sit up. It's best to sit straight, feet on the floor, right? And just start that process. So just give that a whirl. And when you've gotten good at stilling the mind for a minute, then set your timer for maybe a minute and a half or 2 minutes. But just learn the art of stilling the mind. And don't kick yourself if thoughts and words and pictures play out in your head. Don't get after yourself about that, because that's natural and it's a process. It's a process to learn. Now, as far as opening the heart, we can always open the heart by choosing love, right? Every time you choose not to be mad at somebody because you were triggered by something they said or did, because that's our shit. If we're getting triggered, that's our shit. So every time you choose not to be mad and you choose love and you choose to send them love, or, fill yourself up with love instead of allowing for ungreat thoughts or feelings to creep in, right? That is opening the heart. You can also use focused visualization. The heart chakra is green. Energetically, it's green. So you can use a plant or nature to meditate on the green, right? Or you can use visualized meditation that your heart is not meditation, because visualization is something different than meditation. But you can visualize that your heart is a plant and it's opening and it's blooming. Or you can visualize that green coming off of your chest and expanding all around you. So, but the biggest thing is to choose joy and to choose love. If you choose those two things over all of the negative stuff that the world would prefer you to choose, you're opening your heart. Every time you choose to forgive somebody and not have to create a story around it, like, oh, well, this person did this to me and this person did this to me, but I'm going to be the bigger person and I'm just going to forgive. That's not really forgiveness. That's the ego telling this big story. So, every time we choose to just simply forgive and understand that anybody that may have victimized us has also more than likely been a victim. And so we just forgive that and we send compassion and we send love. We're opening our heart. So those are ways that you can open your heart. And the opening the consciousness by meditation is learning to still the mind. Also learning to stay present in the moment. So if you're doing the dishes, don't think about what you're going to do next. Just allow yourself to feel the suds on your hands. Allow yourself to feel the hot water. Allow yourself to smell the dish soap. Allow yourself to feel the dishes. Be present in the moment. What do you feel? What do you see? What do you smell? Just be present in that moment. And don't think about what you're going to do next. Just be present in the moment. And also, expanding consciousness is doing your due diligence to do your research and deciphering, listening to that inner guidance that tells you that this feels right or this doesn't feel right. Don't put a story to it. Anytime a story comes in and has to be told, that's the ego mind. That's not the essence. That's not the soul. That's not the heart. And that's not our guides. So there are those things. I have some major bright light shining in right now, and it's sort of blinding me. This is a completely non-professional setup. I'm just going to move and see if I can make this a little easier on me. Sorry. This is a completely non-professional setup, and it's, I still feel like I'm being blinded. Let's see. Sorry, you guys. Yeah, a non-professional setup, as I was saying. I started doing this. I see I've picked up some followers. So I'm just going to give you a brief synopsis on me. I started pulling a card for my friends and family let's just say it this way, when 2020 came in. So there was a lot of fear, and I was seeing that, and I felt compelled to maybe share a little bit of my spirituality, something that helps keep me centered, focused, and not walking with fear, with my friends and family, just on Facebook. So I started pulling a card every day, an inspirational card out of my Oracle deck. And then one day I felt very pulled to pull a card out of, I think it was probably this deck because it's one of my favorites, the tarot deck. And 3 cards fell out. And so that turned into a little mini reading. And then things just kind of went from there to the point where I was doing like a little reading, but the video was too long and I couldn't upload it to Facebook. So then my friends and my family were actually looking forward to the bits of inspiration and messaging me about it. And so I opened up a YouTube channel so that I could simply upload a reading to YouTube and then copy that link and put it up on Facebook for my friends and family. That's how this started. I mean, that's how I started doing this. It's just sharing some inspiration and some of my spirituality, the things that help soothe me, calm me, keep me centered, keep me focused, and help me live my best life. So I was just sharing some of that. And that's how this started. And then I felt like I didn't really need to be doing a daily pull for everybody like I had been. And I felt like, well, what else do I do that's kind of fun that doesn't have me having to do this every single day in front of the camera or whatever. And so I started doing a full moon and a new moon reading twice a month and putting those up for my friends and my family because I love the energy of the moon. I really love astrology. I love numerology. For me, it's any and all things healing. And yeah, so I started doing that. And then I started feeling a little boxed in with that because I do run my own business and I'm kind of a one-woman show, and I'm like creating this. I create most of the product that I carry, so that's time consuming. And so I was feeling boxed in. If I was busy one day and it was the new moon the next, and I was busy and then tired at the end of the night, I didn't really want to have to be worrying and trying to get up a reading for the new moon that night or early the next morning. I felt boxed in. I felt like I was being put in a box, and boxes have never really worked for me. So I decided that what I was going to do is I was going to shift gears again, and what I've done is I've started reading on things that move me, that I feel compelled to read about. Whenever I have a chance to do it, I come on and I do it. Not that the new moon and full moon energies don't move me, but again, that was a box. And with this, I can just come on and do a reading about the things that I'm concerned about, or things that I've heard, or things that I feel passionate about, and I can do it whenever it's convenient for me. And so that's what I do. So for all of you people who didn't know me and didn't know how this all started, that's how it started. And this is how it's, this is how it's grown and turned into what it is that I'm doing now. So yeah, it's not a professional setup. I've had a few comments about the layout of the camera. This is not a professional setup in any way, shape, or form. I absolutely, literally do this on my phone. I do this on my phone when I have a moment in my shop, which is full of windows, which is why you see glare and, light changing. There's just really nothing professional about my setup at all. I'm just doing this. It just started as a way to help inspire people, bring people hope, help people find their center, maybe help them get in touch with their spirituality and tapping in. From the very beginning of this journey, when I started pulling these cards, my guide's message has been right straight through for the last 2 years to step out of fear, tap in, stand in your power. There's been a lot of that, standing in our power, and not walking with fear, and tapping in and trusting our highest guidance. So that's been the message pretty steadily, right straight through. All right, so how do we escape the matrix? We escape the matrix by not giving it energy. So we don't allow the fearfulness to be our focused point of thought. We focus on and we view what it is that we want to see in this world rather than what people are telling us is going to happen. So where our mind goes, energy flows. And for years and years and years, the nefarious people have been using all of our magic, because our thoughts, our words, we are pure magic, and we're natural manifestors. But they've been using all of our magic against us without us even knowing it, by teaching you how small you are, by teaching you that you're not as powerful as you are, by teaching you that you need some sort of go-between between you and your source, your God, and that's bullshit. You are that connection. That is in you. That is in you. But they've trained people to believe that's not true. They've taken people out of their power. They've told people that divination tools are evil. They've just created this upside down, backwards world that is the matrix. So how do we escape the matrix? We don't feed it. Which wolf wins? The one you feed the most. What do you want to feed? What do you want to feed? So envision the world that you want to see. Know that it will happen. Believe. as you're envisioning that, you are manifesting that. You're manifesting that. So manifest with intention rather than manifesting for these people. They give you this fear to keep you in fight or flight and to keep you worried and to keep you manifesting what they want you to manifest for them, because they don't hold light. They can't create on their own. They need your light to create. Don't give them your light. Put your light where it belongs in the world you want to see. Okay? So that's one of the ways to escape the matrix. But let's take a look. Let's take a look and see, you know, how many of us have escaped the matrix? How many of us are climbing out of the matrix? How much energy is being fed to the matrix? You know, where are we in this? If I know a lot of you, my friends and my family, you know the spiel. We're in a number 6 year. That's birthing new things, right? We're in the Aquarian age, and that is the most healing sign in the zodiac. The Aquarian age is about freedom, liberty, standing in our power, healing the trauma that's created the negativity in our own life, but also within the world. If you've been with me right from the start, and many of you haven't, you know that I truly believe that we are going through a dark night of the soul the world over. We're all in this together. We all have to come together, you know, support each other, be loving, be kind, be compassionate. This is a big shift. And how do we shift? How do we grow? Humanity usually has to go through some trauma to learn anything. So we've been going through trauma for the last couple of years. We're learning, we're opening up our consciousness. The more that we learn, the more consciously aware we become. We share that knowledge. We share what we're finding. We stay open. We stay discerning. We follow what feels true to us. We don't walk with fear, right? These are all things that help us to open our consciousness. So, you know, we're going through this shift, the Aquarian age. We're going through a dark night of the soul the world over. There's a lot going on. We're birthing new things. It is a 6 year, birthing new things. There's a lot going on. So I really, you know, my guides have been giving me really positive messages right from the onset of this. One of the first messages that I got when I started pulling these cards for people was blessed change. And I'll never forget that. That, yeah, a way of life is ending because it wasn't working. And this is a blessed change. And, you know, we're feeling some of the chaos, but we have to look at this ship. We have to see how warped everything is. We have to, in order to bring it up, look at it, touch it, taste it, feel it, so that we can heal it and say never again, so that we can make changes. So let's see. I want to just see what our guides, our source energy, those that love us and have our highest and greatest good for intentions, always and only and always, what they want to tell us in regards to where is humanity right now in reference to how many of us have stepped out of the matrix. Like, what's it looking like? Have the majority of us stepped out of this matrix and we are working to create this shift? We're spreading our knowledge. We're doing things, you know, we're signing petitions. We're joining groups for freedom. We're helping one another. We're being compassionate. We're there for people. We're spreading knowledge. We're taking in knowledge. Like, what does that look like? How many of us have chosen to step out of the matrix? Let's take a look. Let's see what our guidance wants to give us for insight. Because I really want to know. I want to know, you know, what is this looking like? How many of us are just not in the matrix anymore? Not complying to the matrix. Let's see. You guys. Yes. This is looking good so far. Oh my gosh. Wow. Wow. This is good news. This is the kind of stuff that I want to know. You know, I want to know this stuff. I was listening to a lot of things, not a lot of things, because I don't follow a lot of people. I don't do that. I go within and I'm guided by what feels right to me, because if you know me, and I know most of you don't, I say, you know, everything's lies. We live in a world of lies. There's lies on the back channels, lies on the front channels, just everything's lies. A little bit of truth mixed in with a lot of lies. Like I have to go within, and the only thing I really truly trust is my guidance. You know, that's my guidance, and everyone else is just like a means for me to discern what pieces and parts of things feel true and right to me. So we asked, you know, how many of us have stepped out of the matrix? Well, we got the wands representing the question, and the wands are the journey, okay? So they represent the journey. They're moved by fire. This is the 8. So I'd say about 80% of us have chosen to step out of the matrix. We're cutting down the wand. We're cutting down the sticks. We're tired of this. We've stepped out of the matrix, and now we are listening to our higher guidance, and we're getting our messages from source. We have stepped out of the matrix. About 80%. As I asked, you know, how many of us have stepped out? And I got the 8 of Wands. So about 80% of us have stepped out of this matrix. So no matter what people are trying to tell you, I mean, I have felt this in my heart right along. I have felt in my heart right along that more of us, we refuse to be part of the matrix than those that are part of the matrix. But I feel like, you know, we keep getting shown a picture that we're a minority when we're not. And I feel like that picture that's being shown to us, making us feel or think that we're a minority, is done on purpose to try to hold us back, keep us down, and keep us from shining our light and igniting more people and helping more people to step out of the matrix. So I have felt right along that we are more than what they were saying, that there's more of us than what we're seeing or being led to believe. And here we go, right there, 80%. Cut down the sticks, taking our guidance from source. Screw the matrix and anyone dark and nefarious that aims to keep us there. So, yeah. And again, I'm sorry about the lighting, guys. I'm in my shop. I have windows everywhere. I have skylights. It's a beautiful day here. That's a great thing. But, you know, I'm really sorry about the lighting. This isn't a professional setup, as I explained to all of you before. So about 80% of us have stepped out of the matrix, okay? What's driving the whole reading is we're pretty damn tired of hearing it. We're tired of hearing it. So that's what moved us. So these are cups. You can see all the cups being spilt. See all the cups being spilt? Now we can take this in a couple of ways, okay? So if you're following me, you probably, if you've hopped on here and you've decided that you resonate with my energy, then you probably know about the substances that some people use, some nefarious people use. And I think that in itself has woken up a lot of people and said, we're tired of this. And for the rest of the people, they're just tired of hearing lies and they're blocking it out. So for the 80% of us that have stepped out of the matrix, for a lot of us, the majority, if you look, the majority have found out about this, and that's woken up a lot of people. And so some of the 80%, not much of the 80%, couple, you know, like take the percentage down to maybe like 20 or 30% of the 80% of the people that have stepped out of the matrix have stepped out they started stepping out because they didn't like the rhetoric that they were hearing, didn't feel true to them. So they'll eventually find out about this, right? I mean, so 80% anyways, and that's what's driving the reading, because we know things and we don't like hearing things that are lies, and we have chosen now to take off the blinders, take off the rose-colored glasses, expand our consciousness, open our hearts, tap into source, look to spiritual things like, this channel, go within, find ourselves, and really help consciousness wake up, really help consciousness wake up by escaping the matrix. I think this is awesome. All right, so that's what's driving the reading. We know that the information, this is swords. So swords are driven by air. They are information. Their words, their thoughts, their ego, their technology, right? Sometimes they can be creativity, because that goes hand in hand with the air, because that's an inspired thought that will come down and through. So anyways, we are tired. We don't like the way things feel. We don't like we don't like knowing the things that we know. This is cups, that's emotions. We don't like what we know. It does not feel good. The majority of this world are good people. We're good people. The things that we know that people have been up to, we don't like that. And we're tired of the lies. We know that they do damage. They're very damaging, and they create dangerous situations because people then listen to propaganda and they do things that could cause damage to themselves. And we know that. So I would say one of the other things that helped some people step out of this is not just this and not just what they're hearing, but also some of this that we know. A lot of people are coming out and saying there's a lot of information about that, right? So that's also part of what's woken up 80% of the population. Okay? Right above us, as we're waking up, we're cutting down the matrix, we're stepping out of the matrix, we're following source. We are tired of being backed into corners. So I would say the mandates helped wake people up. If you look at this is like he's got her backed into a corner and she feels icky. She doesn't like it. So another piece of what woke us up, the mandates woke us up. Knowing what we know, hearing about what's being done to people for substances that some use woke us up. The news being full of propaganda and telling people what to do woke us up. There's a lot that woke us up, you guys. At first, there was a war waging in us. Like, for some of us, maybe we didn't want to believe, but it felt true. And it was just, for a little while, it was an onward, war waging within us. But eventually, we couldn't ignore it anymore. And we said, we're getting out of the matrix. We're going to start spreading our truth. We're going to do whatever we can to be of assistance to try to help this movement move along. So there's a lot of things here that that helped us to get out of the matrix, okay? And then across from us, cutting down our sticks and saying we're going with a higher guidance. We are stepping out of this. We have us following our path. Now, at first it seemed scary, and it might still at times. You've got this person, she's walking down a path at night by herself in the dark, right? But wands are the journey, and these wands are bloomed. So we are on path. We are on path. This journey is nurturing us, and we are nurturing it. We are on point, on path. So stick with it. Stick with it. We're doing good. We're doing really good, you guys. All right. And above us following our path along a nurtured journey, we have the Ace of Wands, protecting those children, nurturing those things that are innocent and simple. This is really what it's all about. We've been woken up. We got woke up. We've been shaken. 80% of us have been shaken. We want to protect those kids. We know the things they've been doing. We don't like being backed into a corner and told what to do. We're not going to put up with fake news anymore. We're not going to put up with them telling us what to do. We're not putting up with it anymore. We're not putting up with it. Too bad. We're not putting up with it. Yes, we had this war waging between us. We didn't know at first what to do. Felt a little helpless. Didn't know whether to believe it. Didn't know whether not to believe it. You know, we were having a hard time in the beginning when we first woke up. I mean, some of us have been awake for years and years and years, and we've had a knowing about all of this stuff for a long time. A lot of people have just been waking up in the last couple of years. Either way, doesn't matter, because 80% of us are awake now. 80% of us have chosen to step out of this damn matrix. And you know what? It's worth it. The journey is worth it. So that's a really good place to stop, I think. Again, I apologize for all the lighting issues. You know, it's just not a professional setup. But it is me sharing my spirituality with you and delving into these things with you. And I hope that you found value in this. I think it's really reaffirming. It's really reaffirming for me to hear 80% of us have chosen to step out of the matrix because, you know, what they would have us believe is that we are a minority. We're not the minority, guys. We're not. We're the majority. We're the majority, baby. And we're winning this shit because our journey has life in it. This path is all bloomed. Okay? All right, you guys. So until next time, please do like, share, go ahead and leave a comment. I want you to know I've been getting a lot of comments and I'm trying to keep up with them, but well, I've been getting comments. I'm trying to keep up with them, but like I just said, I'm a one-woman show here. I do so much appreciate all of your comments and your input. I want you to know that I really, really appreciate that. So go ahead and leave a comment. I will try to keep up with it. I'm a one-woman show, like I said. Like, subscribe, share, and until next time, I hope you found value in this. So I'm sending you all tons of love, tons and tons of love, lots of prosperity, lots of abundance, lots of joy, and trusting in the process and trusting in the flow. Let's keep doing what we're doing. Let's keep waking up humanity, right? Let's keep waking up humanity and winning. Because we're walking a path that is fully bloomed and nurturing us, even if it seems scary sometimes. All right, you guys, until next time, take care. Much love from me to you.